and others hear Laurel. And some people, including me, hear both. I heard Yanny at first, but then started hearing Laurel, and now I'm just stuck hearing Laurel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this flipbook. But first, a quick story about my flipbook kit, which is on Kickstarter right now. I have to say, one of the coolest things, when I was filming my Kickstarter video, a couple of the kids you saw in the video, that was their first time ever making a flipbook. So I wasn't sure exactly what they would think of it. But when I stopped filming, they just wanted to keep drawing. It was like the best feedback that I could get. The fact that they just wanted to keep using it. Like as soon as we were done, they were like, how much is this going to cost? When can we get it? When will it be out? I think I'm going to put this on my Christmas list. So anyway, that was just like amazing feedback to get from kids who had never done it before. Anyway, if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put links to the Kickstarter in the video description and in the card above. Please check it out and back the project before it ends. So basically, to make this flipbook, I just had to cut a tiny bit of paper off of alternating corners of every page. So when you flip it at the corners, you're only flipping every other page, and on one side you're just flipping the even pages, on the other side you just flip the odd pages. I got this idea from a Japanese flipbook I saw where it showed different animation when you flipped each corner, and I thought that was such a cool idea. And then when you flipped it in the middle, the images blended together, and it had this really neat, like almost ghostly effect, kind of a flickery, ghostly effect where, the animation on one half and the animation on the other half, and then they were like interacting when you flipped it together. So you can see here that there's just a subtle height difference between the paper, but as you flip it, your finger only grips every other page. And then of course in the middle, you can flip all the pages at the same time. So then on my computer, I took the words Yanny and Laurel and I printed out each word the same size as my flipbook paper. And then from that printout, I traced it to make a template using a couple of my cards. On each page I was putting that underneath each page and using it for my template. So my idea was to have the words kind of fade in from one side to the other, going in opposite directions. So Yanny I did in red and would have it start from the left and kind of fade in toward the right and then fade out, and then Laurel the opposite. I'm going to do that in blue, and I'll have it like fade in from the right going left and then fade out, and the words will kind of cross over each other. From start to finish, this whole thing probably took around 2 hours and 45 minutes, and for such a short video, that was a lot of footage to deal with. I really need to set up an actual time lapse instead of just speeding up the video, so I think I'll do that next time. I'm using my Copic sketch markers. I started at first with the chisel tip, but then I switched to the brush because it was just faster and easier. So I didn't calculate exactly how far to move the color each page. It just kind of went with my gut instinct and made it approximate, and luckily it worked out like really similar between the two words, and they matched up pretty well. So once I got to the point where the word was all filled in, I left it completely filled for 2 pages, and then I started fading it out, going in that same direction. One thing I will definitely recommend if you do this yourself, and if I were to do it again, I would do it in the opposite order. In other words, I would draw the flipbook first, like each half I would draw first, and then once I was all done drawing and animating, at that point is when I would go back and cut all the corners. It's just easier that way to not mess up the orientation of your pages, like which ones have the corners cut out on the right or left. I think it would be fun to do more flipbooks like this. I think it'd be really fun to try something where you've got like a different animation happening on each half and then getting them to interact. I've seen a few flipbooks out there that are kind of similar to that. So here's each half. I thought the effect here looked pretty good. I liked the way that kind of motion the fade looked. And then I just had to stack them up, alternating every other one. And luckily all of my cuts stayed oriented correctly. And then of course I used my binding screws to finish it all up. I thought it worked pretty well. If you guys try anything like this, I'd love to see what you make. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you want to get my kit, go check it out before the Kickstarter ends. Links and info in the video description. As always, thanks for watching, stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
you.